Hello, everyone. You guys are listening to The Chicks Passion, and this is on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are a radio, TV, and podcast internet station, and our website is goingsolomedia.com. And I'm CC Schatz, the doyenne of relationship building, and I have one of my girlfriends with me.
Hello, I'm Kathy Lamb.
Yes, we do this great show, and we have a lot of fun with it, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So what have you been up to?
Oh, shoot. I didn't know you were going to ask me that. You know, I've been lazy.
No birdhouses?
I wish I had something exciting to tell you, but.
Yeah, I don't have anything exciting either. I was hoping that, you would be coming through on it. So, yeah.
Working in the yard.
Chicks Passion. Well, I guess we're going to have to move on to our guest then, and hopefully she'll shed some light on and some excitement going. But we have with us, let's bring her forward here, and also her information, if we can bring that forward. We're going to be talking about understanding your negative self-esteem issues with guest Dawn-Marie, and is it Mutell? Mutell. And you're the founder and CEO of Life Necessities, Luxuries, Homebody, Soul, and Lifestyling. I thought this was really important, not only the message here today, but also what you do. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thank you, Cece and Kathy. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we have known each other for quite a while. Dawn-Marie had mentioned that I had met her way back when, and so we've been girlfriends here now for a while. So we're going to talk a little bit like girlfriends do here on Chicks Passion. So let's talk a little bit, Dawn, with what you've been up to during this coronavirus, and then we'll get into our subject.
Well, I actually was doing some work with USF, the College of Medicine, and during this COVID, and it was kind of freaky because I do some contract work with different types of administrative work as a part-time kind of a thing for me. And I was just blown away because every day I was a nervous wreck, having to go into work and just praying that I wasn't going to, catch COVID and get sick or get anybody else sick. And it's been a little nerve wracking, but I'm glad that contract is over and done with. And now I'm just, trying to get back on target and try to see
for your next venture.
Yes, exactly. So, I launched the book, and so now I'm just like, okay, that's done, and I can just keep moving on. So.
Yeah.
We always have something interesting going.
Kathy and I both are, we work from home, we do things from home. And so, those that are still out having to get out and work and things like that, it can be very, very trying for them. So, very, very much so. So we appreciate all that you do when you were out working. We appreciate that. So let's talk a little bit about our subject tonight, which is understanding your negative self-esteem issues. So we're going to talk about that because, Dawn-Marie, you were saying, earlier regarding your past, growing up. Do you want to share a little bit with that with the audience?
Yeah, sure. I remember going through a lot of different self-esteem issues, and I think it started as early as when I was very young. I was super thin, like a little bit undernourished or something, because I wasn't the same size as everybody else my age. I was always the smallest in the group, and when my mom would take me shopping, to buy clothing, everything we would try on never really fit me. And even into my early adult years, I was still buying children's clothing. And it was really working on my psyche. And I started to feel like, I'm not like the regular women who can go and just buy what they wanted off the rack. And it started to play with my mind a bit. And then I had a brother who was also very negative and kind of abusive verbally. So between that and that, my self-esteem kind of wasn't really where it should have been, I think, as growing up. And then I was struck by a drunk driver when I was 22. I was studying to be a dancer on Broadway, and that was my dream. And then, I had this accident, And my whole life changed. And from that day on, I didn't know like who's going to love me being broken. And so I just dealt with so much trying to rebuild my confidence that I could be a normal person, live a normal life. And, you know, even though you have injuries, you will find love. But when we have these things, I think that get in there and they bury it so deeply that it kind of affects us in so many other ways. And we don't even know that it's happening sometimes until you can really stop to think about, okay, well, where is my life going? And how do I find like certain patterns that might still be going on that you can't break free from the tie that binds you, you know?
Certain
So
things would stop you because you have that in your head, that self-esteem thing going on, right? You know, like, oh no, I can't do this because I got this subconscious thing going on.
Mhm.
Is that, can you hear me?
yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay.
I think I missed the question.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Things would stop me because I've got this thing that somebody's going to think certain things of me because, I mean, I'm always worried about what people think, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of us do. And, you know, some of the things I feel in my book, 151 Musically Inspired Secrets, I list a lot of different ways that we can kind of overcome some of those issues. Now, whether it could be, you know, we feel our weight may not be where we want it to be, or we don't, you know, like a feature on our face, or we don't like something. As we know, as women, we usually find a bunch of faults that we don't like when realistically it's not true. But in our mind, it is true. And so whatever we believe, it becomes our truth, right? So breaking free from that is the first step. And I think once you can like hone down what that thing is, and then start to think of ways to come out of it and so that you can get past it, that's the hardest part. And I think like one of the steps where I talk about in the book, it's called I Can See Clearly Now That I've Taken, that I've cleaned my glasses off. And it's about getting clear about what it is that we want. Because even though we may find that we want to do all these things, but if you don't get clear about your direction, we can just flounder around and never get anywhere. So I find it's really, really important for us to just sit and still and quiet, because most of us, we don't spend time in quiet. And I think some of us even find it a little uncomfortable when we're in quiet. So I found that meditating is really helpful in this area so that you can actually start to calm down and then start to hear the intuitive things that happen inside of us to say, oh, you know what, we need to do some more of this. And it could be just as simple as, oh, it's time to take a walk. We need to walk 20 minutes a day, or just eat some healthier food and make better choices in the things. If you wanted to lose weight, you know, just forget about the word diet, because I feel like every time we try to think of the word diet, it doesn't work. Right. So think about just trying to make some new habits that are healthier habits. So instead of like, I want that cheesecake, you know, how about I'm just going to have some fresh fruit, because you're still getting that sugar and you still feel like it's tasty and it's satisfying, but it's not going to be as bad as that cheesecake or whatever delicious pastry that's out there for us to enjoy. So when we can sit back and say, you know what, it's time for us to rise, because I know a lot of us, especially now, I think being indoors so much that we're not getting the fresh air in our lungs. We're not getting out there with our friends, which, you know, friends is a huge part of having that network, you know, so that we can all rise up and stay strong.
Yeah. You know, I thought this topic was really important because, you know, I deal a lot with those that are traveling from a transition from dating for divorce into dating. And, you know, we all have self-esteem issues. And I think everybody has some sort of, men and women. And although men, they don't like to really put it out there. They try to hide their you know, insecurities and things like that. But they definitely have it right with us women. We have a comment already. Oh, here. Talk about portion control, eat half a slice.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Half a slice. What?
Have to slice the pie.
That's good me.
You're funny, Bill. But yeah, but I think it's really important because I do feel like we all have it. And I think you're so right. It's that little voice that's in our head. And sometimes to acknowledge that, hey, this is what I'm hearing doesn't necessarily mean it's truth, right? And so being in, grounded and being in that quiet moment can really get you more in tune with controlling those voices that are in your head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think when we do work out and we do get those hormones and endorphins and the dopamine released, that can also help us because you start to feel confident when you do something or you try something new is another great way to build your confidence. Even though we may suck at it in the beginning, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So when you do learn something new, it teaches us to get stronger, to say, hey, you know what, we can do this. And if you could do this little thing, then I can maybe do this bigger thing, and try something bigger.
Yeah, don't know what's happening. I'm losing you ladies.
Oh, no.
I can hear some static going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't hear it now.
Yeah, I wanted to put this up. Bill said he went from 263 to 214. Yay, that's good. In 6 months of walking. Very good, Bill. Very good. I tell you what, Bill, I'm walking too. I've been walking about 1.5 miles, and I've been doing it like every other day just because of time. I'm trying to get to where I do it every day.
Do you do it in the morning or in the evening or?
Well, I've been doing it in the evening because I'm kind of busy as soon as I get up in the morning, because taking care of Dad and stuff. But but trouble is like I've gotten rained out a couple nights, with bad storms. So I need to maybe try to do it in the morning too. So I've got to balance it. But I've got to get it in because I think that we have to do things for us, and if we feel like, we are overweight or we need to get in shape or we just need to kind of express ourselves somehow, we need to definitely do whatever it is that we feel that we need to do.
Because, I love that you say that. It's so important.
Yeah. It
and
really
also, I think if I can touch on that, is when you have a goal to do something, and maybe if they're with a partner or maybe a family member even, they may not agree with what you want to do, whatever that thing might be. So I always say, stay away from the naysayers because, they're going to just squash your dreams. And
yes.
yeah, and there's a lot of people out there, they just don't believe in your dreams. So
I dealt with that.
It's going to be you. So talk to people like Kathy, you have Cece, you can talk to her if you want to do something, but there may be somebody in your life that you say something and then they're just kind of
just like, no, you can't do that.
Right.
No, I know.
Exactly. And so I find that a lot of people give up their dreams because people talk them out of it. Mm-hmm. So it's really important for them to just say, have the conviction to know that you're right, that this is really something that has been put on your heart to do, that you got to stick with it and do it. Otherwise, you'll never do it. And then you'll just end up with regrets. And, Lord knows, having regret is like the worst thing.
And at least even if you don't, if you don't make it the way you wanted to, you can say, at least you tried it. Now, it's a learning experience,
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree with that because I think the biggest thing in life is regrets and to take chances in life. It's very important because you'd be surprised how your life can change by stepping out of the box and doing something different. And, if no one else believes in you, you just have to believe in yourself. Right.
That's right.
That goes with the self-esteem is to start understanding yourself and stop beating yourself up and, be appreciative of who you are and what you have to give, so. Yeah.
And that's the thing. We all have a gift and it's about finding out what that gift is. And a lot of times, if we're following everybody else, then we don't get the time to really learn about what that gift is. And that's why one of the things that I tried to do when I was in my 20s was to just spend more time alone with myself, to just kind of get to know who I was, because I was with my friends so much, and I was always doing things. I was always busy, but I never really had that downtime. And so I think after the accident, it kind of gave me that time to spend at home, even though I felt like a loser being home on my Friday and Saturday nights and everybody else is out having a good time. But it helped me learn a lot about myself. And it also helped me just look at different things I could do that I didn't know I had skills to do. Like I started cooking more and I started doing more of my artwork. And those creative things really started to build up my self-esteem to think, oh, look, it's not like it's not a Picasso here, but, it's something to do and have fun with. And when you're doing those fun, creative things, even if it's just for yourself, it starts to build up that self-confidence. Definitely does.
Yeah. I like the creative part. I know that, Kathy, you've been building those birdhouses, so we're going to be seeing those.
Actually, let me show you one. I'm not building them. I'm just painting them and decorating them. So
fun.
I'm not putting it together. Just
my
goodness! Look how
wow!
That is.
I want one. I'm going to buy one from you.
It's not finished, but I didn't paint it. That's decoupage. So
wow.
I'm not that artistic. But, I use somebody else's art to put on it.
There you go.
You put somebody else's art on it. Oh, smart.
Cool.
It's so pretty to hang outside.
And I like that it had the welcome on it and all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very
welcome
nice.
Your birds. That's nice. Make your birds feel at home.
I love her backyard. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great that you do things like that and you be creative and, you never know. You never know really, right, what you're capable of doing.
Yeah, I take every now and then I'll take a lesson on something. And one day my daughter's boyfriend was over and he saw some of the things that I do get into, and he goes, "I wish my mom would do stuff like that." Oh, here's another one of the birdhouses right here.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Ooh.
Oh, cute.
So fun. I
That
love
is
it.
really cute. Are those like stickers you put on?
No, I painted those. I actually did my artistic.
Oh, wow. You did a good job then. Yeah, very good. Very
Love
good.
it. I think it looks like you have a new business coming up.
You're very creative because you created, you do 2 podcasts. I just wanted to bring up your information here. And then you've written a book. And so and then I love this, what is it here? Let me put it up. You have let's see, here's your website. And then you're the author of 151 Musically Inspired Secrets to Master This Thing Called Life, which is,
Cool name.
hard in itself, right?
Yes.
And you have a podcast, Life's Necessities and Luxuries. And then you also have the Little Drummer Girl.
Yes.
So, yeah, which is very
drummer, and I can't I felt like, I do the image consulting and the life coaching, but, then I'm a drummer and a musician, and I feel like I didn't want to cut that piece of me off because I felt like I was cutting off a limb. So I created the Little Drummer Girl podcast so that I could help other musicians that are out there trying to learn from interviews from those who've already been successful in the business, because I did work in the music business back in the 90s and the 80s. So I thought, let me just call up some friends and start, interviewing them. And then it's just kind of grown. So it's been interesting. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and see, that's why I think, you stepping out of the box and doing something creative is really important. And so you certainly have done that. So tell us a little bit about this. Here, you're the CEO of Life's Necessities and Luxuries, Home, Body, Soul, and Life Styling. So what is that exactly?
Well, years ago, back in 2002, I had started my image consulting business, and it was called The New You. But I felt that I knew a little bit more about just image and styling, and because I've had a very varied background. I was an outside travel agent for many years and a musician, and I've just done a lot of home care and decorating and different things like that. So I felt that The New You wasn't going to cut it anymore. I wanted to expand on it, and I felt like because our lives are very, different aspects of it. There's so many different areas to life. So that's why I created Life's Necessities and Luxuries, because I wanted to help people not only with their outer image, because I feel like that's the first place you can kind of start when you're looking to make some changes, is you can start with the outside and then start to work on inside. And it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I would give a lot of donations to some of the like the Dress for Success and Bottomless Closet in New York City, because I'm from New York City originally. And every time I gave a talk about whether it was skin concerns and beating, skin challenges, or just how to shop in your closet and find, some great
She did that for me.
That's right. Yes.
She went through my closet.
Yes, we
Helped me
did.
pick out a wardrobe.
Did it help?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Helped me organize my closet. It was good.
And then when you get ready, it's like, 10 minutes, you don't have to think about it anymore. So that's why I don't want people to spend money needlessly, because I feel like, everything out there is so expensive today. And I've always been a very frugal, one of the classes I teach is called Frugally Fabulous Living. And it's just about how to live a great life on a beer and pretzels budget, because I'm very frugal. Like, I want the best of the best, but I don't want to pay for that. So, because I don't have the budget, so I'm thinking, hey, if I was rich, it'd be one thing, but I'm not. So I have to find creative ways to get the things that I want. And so I wanted to share all the things I've learned over the years, especially coming from New York City, where everything is glam and glitz, but you got to pay for that. And so I wanted to have that lifestyle, but I didn't want to pay for it. So I found it in creative ways and brought it back out there.
The funny thing is, what I remember about it is when we went shopping for clothes, she picked out things for me to wear, to try on, that I never would have thought of, and I never would have thought they would have even looked good on me. And she's, try it on, damn it. And so I tried it on.
It's awesome, right?
And I'm like, oh my God, it looks good.
Isn't that funny that sometimes when you go shopping, you'll like you'll look at it on the hanger and it looks like, oh my gosh, why would they even put it in the store?
Yeah.
And then you put it on and it's like, oh my God, this is my favorite outfit. Yeah.
And there's so many different things that, when I got certified at the Fashion Institute of Technology, I just thought like, oh yeah, styling, you just get dressed, right? And it's just clothing, but there's so much to it. I mean, it was a 2-year program, and learning about like all the different things that you really need to know to make yourself look your best. And it's as simple as, knowing what your face shape is so that you get the right hairstyles and the right accessories and the right scale and the size for, your body type. Because if you're a very petite woman and you wear very chunky accessories, you'll get lost. Or a cable knit sweater, you'll see like, okay, where did she go? She disappeared. Wearing the wrong colors can also play a really big factor. So if you've never had your colors done, it's really important to know what your color palette is so that you can always, no matter whatever you're wearing, like, have you ever put something on and you get like a million compliments from it? Yeah. And it's probably
brighter colors like this. I always get. Now, before I had a top on that, it was very pretty. I mean, was a very pretty top, but then I noticed that because I'm so light, and when I wear my hair down and everything, it's long, and so I've got this light hair, light skin, and then I have a light top. I just felt I looked washed out, so I thought, okay, you better go and change her. And
exactly.
I felt like I had to do something different with my hair, but it's just you really got to, and I think guys too. I mean, I don't like to leave the guys out, because I think we're in a phase now of transition, both with the COVID and with our lives, I think, completely. And so as we're transitioning, we want to embrace ourselves, right? And so we want to claim ourselves. We want to claim our space. And so I think all that you're doing is really great, because you're making awareness of to embrace your surroundings and really home in on what makes you feel good. And so wear the clothes that make you feel good, have your home the way you want it to be. And, I've got a lot of people that are going from the transition of divorce or relationship loss. And so they need to start claiming their space, because it's no longer the space that they had together. They have to start making it of their own. And so trying to reach within and figure out what you truly like and what you don't like, and get rid of the clothes that don't look good. I heard that like if you haven't wore something in a few months or whatever, just get rid of it, right?
Exactly. I usually give them the year because sometimes it may be a seasonal thing. So you may not be wearing it as often, especially if you live in a colder climate or something like that. But I always say, turn the hangers the other way around so that when you go into your closet and you notice that you're not wearing those items still, then you know it's time to take them out. And one of the things I always say, to do in the beginning is to just look at what you have, because most times half of the stuff we have in there we don't wear. So I always say take it out. You may spend an hour or two on it and it's going to be worth it in the end, because once you get rid of the clutter, then you can see what you own, and you may need to get a couple of simple staple items. You may just need a nice pair of black pants or a pair of white pants, or just a solid shirt that's going to go and help you mix and match different outfits together so that you really can utilize what you have. One of the things I teach is it's called a capsule wardrobe. It's where you take like 12 items of clothing and you can build 30 to 35 outfits out of that. And I've done it where you could do it under $100. And so people are just like, how the heck didn't you do that? And I show them and they're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it's really great, especially if you work in an office or if you're doing any kind of traveling. It's a great way that you can pack up real easily and get on the road and not take the whole house with you. And, they take that little suitcase and you could just always look great wherever you go. I wanted to touch something you said about the colors, Cece. A lot of times our contrast levels, which is the value difference between the hair and the skin tone, can really play a difference. So as you said, your hair is light and your skin is a lighter color. You may, think about maybe if you wanted to darken your hair a little bit, like a shade darker, just to have some more contrast, or you may do it with makeup colors as well. So sometimes it's just a matter of wearing a brighter lipstick, or maybe it's just filling in the eyebrows so that you can show there's a little bit more contrast going on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I could take my hair down and you can see how light I am. I'm so light.
Yeah, and your hair is beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful color. And right now you're wearing a pinkish lipstick, are you not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did the right thing. You have the brighter lipstick, so it's kind of making you pop. And you have that bright color pink on, and you look beautiful.
Well, thank you. But if I wear something light, then I'm so washed out looking.
Yes, but then you can add some accessories to brighten that up. So it might be the color of your eyeglass frames. You could always throw in color there, or it could be just the necklace has some color in it, so that it kind of breaks up that the blandness of all that, everything, monotonic, a monochromatic look, so that you can kind of get some more color.
That's a great idea. Yeah, these are red, actually. These are red. And then my computer glasses are purple. Yeah, so definitely. Well, I think it's a lot of fun, but what we have to do, we didn't take our quick break. We just have to have a moment of silence so that we can drop in commercials and things like that on the radio side of it when we start broadcasting in other affiliates. So let's just take a quick break. And when we come back, I'd like to, Kathy, if you're okay with that, I'd like to go ahead and talk about Dawn-Marie's book.
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
Okay.
So we're going to just take a quick break. Everybody, you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we'll just have a moment of silence just so that we have that break. Okay, great. Thanks for staying with us. This is WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. You guys are listening to The Chick's Passion, and I am Cece Schatz, and I have my good friend with me and co-host Kathy Lamb. Yeah. We have our wonderful guest here on tonight, which we're having a great time with, and we're talking about understanding your negative self-esteem issues, and it's with Dawn-Marie Mutell. Am I saying it right? Mutell. I did it wrong again. Okay, and you're founder and CEO of Life's and Necessities and Luxuries, Home, Body, Soul, and Lifestyling. And you've got a couple podcasts yourself, so you know what it's like to fumble a little bit here and there. But you've got a podcast which is the little drummer girl, and then also the Life's Necessities and Luxuries. So. And you've written this great book called, you're the author of 151 Musically Inspired Secrets to Master the Thing Called Life, this thing called life. Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about Why did you write a book like this? What got you motivated to do it?
Whew, well, let me think. I had actually just had a really bad breakup with somebody, my fiance of 10 years. And I basically felt like I was abandoned in Florida when he moved back to New Jersey. And I was really depressed. I was really down. And I was working 3 jobs to try to, stay afloat here. And one of them was working at Nielsen doing these like telemarketing calls at night. And I dreaded that job like nobody's business. And I remember thinking to myself, is this what my life has come to? I'm dialing 250 people a night and everybody's hanging up on me or they're cursing me out. I thought there's got to be something else to do. So while I was there, I decided I was going to write a blog post. And it started out as a blog post, but then it was like, wait a minute, this is getting a little bit more intricate. So I created this book, 151 Musically Inspired Secrets to Master This Thing Called Life. And the reason it's called Musically Inspired is because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a drummer and musician for many years. And so I wanted to find a way to bring music into coaching. And so every secret is a song title, but of course, I changed it up a little bit. So that I also, with it, created an interactive journey, a website that houses all of the videos, the original music videos to the original songs, as well as Amazon samples so that they can go and listen to the original song. And I felt like, life in general, every time I would hear a certain song, I felt like I had a memory to it. And it took me right back to a certain time and place in my life. And a lot of the things I did learn from music. So for instance, the song, Give It To Me, Baby, I realized like, okay, I'm going to create a secret. Give it to me, baby, and give it to me now. And it's about asking for what you want, because half the times we wish for all these great things, but do we ask for them? And you know what they say in the Bible, ask and you shall receive, right? And usually when we do ask, we do get it. And if we don't, we can just keep knocking on some other doors till we get it. And it just kind of worked out so that I can just break it up into different areas. So I cover like romance and intimacy, how to keep your love life alive, some tips on home caring and in socializing and entertaining, as well as travel tips and all the different things I've learned from all the coaches I've been studying for the past 30 years. And there's a lot of information they taught me, which really helped me grow spiritually and in my career. And I wanted to help people find their purpose, because it's one of the toughest things to find. I mean, if you're born and you're going to be a doctor, lawyer, that's great. But most of us, I think, we don't know really what it is that lights us and fuels us up. So I know after I was hit by the drunk driver, I didn't know what I wanted to do, because to me, my only dream was to be a dancer on Broadway. And so it was like, okay, now what? So I had to start all over again. And this book is some of the stuff that I've learned to kind of give you kind of like the cheat notes and say, here you go. Here's everything I've learned. And I'm putting it into this little 6-hour audiobook so that, you can take it, pick it apart, take just the topics that you want to talk about. Maybe it's just you want to straighten out your finances. I know I've had to deal with a lot of different financial issues because I've been hit by the different drivers as well as the drunk driver, but a couple of others after that, and I fell in a sinkhole. So my finances kind of went out of whack, and I'm thinking, life is crazy. Like, how do we have a good life without, it's because life isn't easy. Life is a lot of challenges, and, we have a lot of ups and downs, but some of the things in this book will really help you pinpoint what it is that you really want out of your life and how to live a fulfilled and happy life.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, when
the tragedy, right, Kathy? Sometimes, some of the things that we experience in life that are difficult, that,
there are obstacles that get into your way. And when things happen the way I see it, it's hard to say it like this, but to me, it's like a moment in time, or it's a book, and you'll turn the page, and eventually you'll get to the next chapter where you can put all that behind you. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. We've got another chapter we're living, aren't we?
Yeah. And
And it definitely helped me forget about my ex. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So-
I tell you what, you know what? I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the fact of my relationship loss. I mean, I wouldn't be here. I never in a million years ever dreamt that I would be doing anything like this. And
Right.
nor did I have the self-esteem to think I could do something like this.
And look how far you've come, and it's like it's growing, it's building, and then you're helping everybody on your path, and there's something magical about that.
Yeah, it truly is, and it's fine, like you said, finding your purpose in life, and I feel like I've kind of found mine, and I'm embracing it and loving it. But I wouldn't have done that had it not been for, you know, some difficulties in my past, and so, you know, I think that sometimes, you know, we have to step out of the fire to get into something else, and so I think sometimes that does that. But with me, I have to say that I've had great many people help me along the way, and a lot of support and a lot of friends. So yeah,
that's great. And there's a lot of people out there who aren't as lucky, and they don't have a very big support network. And to those out there that are listening that might be in that situation, I just say, you know, join your meetup groups and join different groups so that you're not alone and that you can start to make friends, because, you know, as we get older, it is harder to meet people. And I find that, you know, there's so many wonderful groups out there now that will be your cheerleaders, that will help raise you up and get you to where you need to go. And there's just so much out there to choose from today, and I think now we've been blessed with it's so easy to find anything that you want. You know, one of the secrets, it's called get jiggy with it or else. And I find that if you're looking to break into a different industry, let's say, you know, you're a school teacher but you want to become a fashion designer, you know, start reading and everything that you can on that industry, so that, you know, even if you don't do it this year or next year, if you keep doing those things over those 2 years, you're going to get a world of knowledge about that industry and really teach you about it, so that you can move to it when you're ready.
You start to learn the language of it, so that when you do actually get into it, you know, the you know, certain industries, they have their own language.
Yes. And you may find
I get that totally, because, you know, when I started doing podcasting, nobody was really doing it, you know, so it's like, you know, I've been around the block a few times and know the things maybe you shouldn't do, you know, and it's going to cost you a lot of money. And a lot of people think they have to spend a lot of money doing certain things, and by researching it, like you said, by reading. I mean, you know, in my field, I read everything and then some. But you really do have to do that. Oh, here. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Joanne. Good advice.
Hi, Joanne. How are you?
Thank you for listening. We appreciate that. You know, your support, listeners out there, it just means the world to us. So thank you for listening and commenting. We do so appreciate it, and it inspires us. So thank you for that. Well, I love what you do. I mean, I love that the fact that you're helping people, you know, move forward in their lives, and you're, you know, telling them to embrace who they are and relish the fact that they're very special and unique, and you know, and you're helping them along the way. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you. I mean, I feel like if I could just help one person with this book, if they read it and they find their calling, or they found that, you know, just a couple of things that gives them the aha moment, then I feel like I've done my job.
Yeah, I totally get that. You know, I'll share a story with you, is that when I first started doing the radio stuff, after a while, I was doing it and everything, and I was paying good money to do my broadcasting and stuff. And I kept thinking, why am I doing this? You know, I could be going out, outfits I could be buying, things I could be doing, you know, why am I, you know, and struggling and paying for this? And then one time I went to a meetup, I went to a party, and this guy came up to me and he goes, Cece. I said, what, you know, and I'd never met him before. And he goes, I saw that you were coming and I wanted to meet you because I was going through a bad relationship breakup, and I was traveling, and I listened to your show every time it was on. I re-listened to your broadcasts and all of that, and it really changed my life. And that's it. That was a no-brainer for me. I knew then why I was doing what I was doing. So
it's an amazing feeling, isn't it? It's
yeah.
just, it really is.
Yeah.
I know I did a lot of volunteer work with groups like Dress for Success that help women who, may have been incarcerated, who come out and they're trying to find work, or just they've been on, financial, some kind of government assistance. And I remember this one woman, I helped suit her up for her interview, and she came out of the dressing room and she's crying. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do to her? And she just was like, I've never seen myself look pretty before. And it broke my heart. And I was just like, we take things for granted so much that to see someone who was so grateful and has such gratitude about, what we were doing for her, and it changed her life. It just totally transformed her life because she saw herself for the first time as a beautiful woman. And it's just, we all have, like we were talking about self-esteem issues, we all have something that can be there. And sometimes we don't even know it's there. And that's the scary part. We can go through life for year after year after year and not even realize that we have an issue with something until we really start to chip away at it to see, what is that little thing that keeps kind of, you hear something going on back there, but you don't know what it is. And then when you finally start to sit down and get still, meditate, start writing in a journal. It's another great way to find the things that you want to do is a journaling. And you can also, it's a great therapy session, I love to say, because you just kind of can lay it all out there and don't have to worry about anybody else, making fun of it or whatever, because it's your private thoughts and you can just spill it all out there on the page.
Great advice. Great advice. All right. So let's put up your website here again so everyone can see it. Of course, it's, www. and it's DAWNMARIEMUTELL.com. So everyone needs to go to that. And then I think you were also saying that on the book, if they go to your website to purchase the book.
Yes, if they go to 151secrets.com, when they go to checkout, I'm giving you guys, your audience, at 30% off, and they just need to use the code CC, and it's all caps, and they will get 30% off of the book.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for doing that. We'll make sure we put that on the website somewhere too, so that we can they can capture that information, and we'll change it on the YouTube so that they can get it too. So if they're listening to the rebroadcast, they can definitely get it up. But Lynn, thank you so much. The time went by so quickly. Kathy, anything you want to say?
What did you say, me?
Yeah. I know, I jammed so much. I'm sorry.
I wasn't daydreaming. It's just I didn't hear the part where you said my name was.
Wake up, Kathy.
Turn it, Cece. You always do that. No, I don't have anything to say. Guess not, anyway.
Any last words for our listeners to encourage them on the self-esteem? Anything you want to say? No?
Self-esteem.
Self-love. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to
your
inner voice.
There you go. What was that?
Listen to the inner voice.
Yes. But also, I forgot to tell you, if you're looking, I just created a 6-day find the perfect swimsuit for your body type. So if anybody's interested, if you go to facebook.com/groups, and then it's Swimwear Challenge 2020, you can join anytime because it's up there. There's just 6 days of how to find your perfect suit for your perfect body type there. So,
yeah, mine's called a big beach towel. Oh, Lord.
Too funny. But we do have the best beaches here, so we're lucky.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we just got to have a sense of humor sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
Well, any last words, Dawn, that you'd like to share? Dawn-Marie?
I just want to say thank you again for, having me on the show here. And I really want you to believe in yourself and don't let anyone stop you from reaching your goals, because you deserve to live the best life you possibly can. And We were all put on this earth with a gift. You just have to find it.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I tell you, we'll support you all the way to finding, your purpose in life and helping you get through to the next level, to the next chapter, right? Right, Kathy?
Right.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to go. The time went by very quickly. So I want to thank everyone for listening. And so you guys know who we are, where we're at. This is the Chicks Passion, and you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. I am CC Schatz signing off, and
Now I'm Kathy's.
we have Dawn-Marie here. Okay, bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.